Mark is in the room now. I think he's on the stream. Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Beth. How you doing? All right?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Just back from Leamington, but back for the Champions League draw. I don't know whether we know when it's going to happen. Sometimes these things can take an hour or so, but yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, they can take a while. He's just talking now, doing a bit of them intro. I just said they're heating the balls up, they're getting it ready. But yeah, I'm doing all right. Good morning, Sean. The United Stand are now here in the Champions League. Gutted United aren't in it, but Mark, I do want to lead off this topic, but I know you're trying to avoid it at all costs. But your original prediction for the Champions League was a Man United win. Bottom of the group, so not great, not in the round of 16 draw. Looking at the teams that are left in it, who are you going with now?
Yeah, just having a quick look there. Well, I normally would go Man City, but I think that they're so indifferent at the moment. Obviously, we've played Bayern Munich a couple of times, so we know what they're all about. Arsenal, I think, looking quite steady. Real Madrid, you can't count out. Barcelona not doing that well. I think if Man City continue to struggle, then it does open up the tournament quite nicely. But yeah, I'd probably still stick with City. I'd love City not to win it, but I'd probably still say City. I wasn't that impressed with Bayern Munich. I'd like Bayern to do well because they've got Harry Kane, but I wasn't that impressed with Bayern Munich. Oh, here we go. John Terry's here now. I hope there's no women on the panel.
Love it, John Terry.
Yeah. I thought they'd started the draw then because I just saw. Oh no, they can't. Yeah, they've drawn Porto out, haven't they?
Have they?
I'm on the Champions League website and they've put Porto out. But John Terry's still having a chat about this bloke's wife. I don't know what's going on.
I'm on the live stream and I've not seen anything yet. It's saying teams to be drawn, so I'm not sure. Maybe they've done something. Usually they take ages with this. They take ages. They absolutely
I'm on the
take
website
ages.
I'm on the UEFA.com website and they've drawn Arsenal against Porto.
So the stream is lagging behind. So we'll maybe just go off what you're saying. Apparently it's on TNT Sport now.
Yeah,
so
they're
Porto
behind.
versus Arsenal. The first one.
This is the stream to be then, because Goldbridge is getting it first. So even though it's not on the telly, Porto have come out against Arsenal.
Tweet it out, everyone. That's football's the place to be for the Champions League draw.
It's always the place to be. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. But it's Porto against Arsenal. They're still chat. The hilarious thing is, even on the Champions League stream, they're still. Oh no! I've caught up now. I think I was just behind on. TNT was a bit behind, I think, but
I was on that as well, and it was behind.
Yeah, the TNT one's behind. Anyway, Napoli have just come out as well, Beth.
Napoli, Victor Osimhen. I'll be watching him.
So Porto got Arsenal. Napoli are next out. Could get PSG.
I think Porto is not an easy draw for Arsenal, you know.
Sorry, Napoli were a runner-up, so they've got Barcelona. Napoli, Barcelona.
That's a good tie.
It is, yeah.
That is a good tie. Again, I think Napoli can cause upset in that. I know people think Barcelona are the favourites in that, but Napoli are a good side, and Barca haven't quite been at the races so far this season.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. That's football. We've got a couple of watch-alongs for you this week with the Carabao Cup. Man United aren't in that, Beth, either.
I know, out of everything. I mean, do you know what it is, though? At least we've got the time on the training pitch. To actually, there'll be no excuses on when on the training pitch and with injuries and stuff like that. But FA Cup's our only hope. PSG out.
Yeah, this is the one. PSG have just dropped.
I'm on it now.
Could get Man City, could get Real Madrid, could get Bayern Munich. I reckon it'll be Bayern Munich for some reason. Could also get Atletico Madrid.
Opening the ball. Sociedad. Oh.
Yeah, that's an anticlimax.
Oh God.
There'll be screams of corruption in the chat there and hot balls and all sorts of stuff, you know, because that for PSG, considering they could have got Bayern, Arsenal, Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Man City or Barcelona or Dortmund. Well, they couldn't get Dortmund because they're in the same group. They've pulled out Sociedad. It literally is the easiest game that PSG could have got. And surprise.
Yeah, I mean, balls are hot. Inter Milan next.
That's PSG. I told you, this last 16 might be a bit of a damp squib.
It's like seeing that there's a massive derby just before Christmas in Liverpool, Man United, and Michael Oliver's a referee. Just puts a downer on it. Puts a downer on it. Who's next? So it's Inter Milan versus, please be City. Atletico Madrid. It's Atletico Madrid. Inter Milan versus Atletico Madrid. That again screams like a 1-1, doesn't it? Like a 1-0 game. And obviously they have to play two of them, but that's another
City will
one.
Get Copenhagen. Well, I said that, didn't I? City Copenhagen. You can see it a mile off. You can see it a mile off.
If City get Copenhagen and PSG get Sociedad, you've got to start asking questions, don't you?
Yeah.
Lazio next. What do you think about Real Madrid going to the next stage of the competition? They've not really got an out-and-out 9. Do you think that'll hinder them?
I've not really watched a lot of Real Madrid this season, but obviously got Jude Bellingham. They've got a very good midfield.
Rodrigo's doing well for him too. Lazio and Bayern. So yeah, Copenhagen City.
Yeah. I don't know why they bother doing these draws. I really don't. I've got no idea why they bother.
It's the easy. I'm sorry, but them games are some of the most predictable games I've ever seen. Like Bayern Munich, Lazio, we all know what's going to happen there. City, Copenhagen, we all know what's going to happen there. I mean, PSG, Real Sociedad, it's obvious what's going to happen there. Like they want the better teams to get to the next stage of the competition, so it makes it more exciting in the later stages. But come on.
I think that PSG one's the most ridiculous one because considering PSG could have got, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Real Madrid. Well, they couldn't. Yeah, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Man City, Barcelona, and they pull out the one team in the group winners that's the weakest. It's incredible. And then Man City pull out Copenhagen as well.
Real Madrid, Leipzig are the last ones.
But they've had dodgy draws before. They just want to keep these teams in the league, don't they? But yeah, I think the PSG one's the worst one because it's like one, the chances of them pulling out Sociedad was like 1 in 7, and lo and behold, they do it.
If you look at the run that Man City's had now, right, and we can't say much because we couldn't get past Copenhagen as Man United fans, but their group was literally a group that was so poor in quality for a Champions League group, and then now in the round of 16 they've got Copenhagen. It's like every year I feel like City's road to the final destination is like it's like Europa League standard realistically, like the teams that they've come up against, and we can't say much because the Europa League draw will be whatever time it is and we're not even in that, but it's crazy really to considering the run that they get each time.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the last 16 and this for me this might be one of the worst ones in years because there's just not really. You've got Porto, Arsenal. I'd expect Arsenal. Well, Porto aren't bad, but I'd expect Arsenal. PSG, Sociedad. PSG should win that. Inter against Atletico Madrid is interesting, but probably boring to watch. Lazio, Bayern. Real Madrid, Leipzig might be interesting, but you'd expect Real Madrid. Copenhagen, Man City. PSV, Dortmund. And the pick of the tie is probably Napoli, Barcelona, but neither team are really where they were last season. So, yeah, it's... I don't know. Maybe the Champions League is just not. Maybe there's not really any. It might make for a good tournament, but it's. There's not really a jump out tie for me there. Really,
there's literally no tie that I look at that thinks, oh, that'll be a tough game. That could go either way. Most of them you can kind of see where it's going to go. I hope there will be upsets. I really hope there will be some huge upsets. That'd be great to see. But I doubt it. And I look at some of them draws and it just doesn't scream round of 16 Champions League exactly what you say. But am I right in thinking that if we would have been second seeded if we got through, we would have been Copenhagen's place. We would have drawn City then, wouldn't we?
I don't know whether you can in the 16.
Like that. But can you in the round of 16? Or do you have to wait again? I know you can't in the groups, but...
Yeah, I think you can well, someone in the chat might know. I think you definitely in the last 8.
No, you can't. You
can go. In the last 8, you can go against country, but I don't think you can in the 16. So we wouldn't have got Man City. But to be fair, though, the last 8 will be good because if Arsenal go through, PSG go through, City, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Napoli, Barcelona, Inter, Atletico Madrid, take your pick, and Dortmund probably beat PSV. The quarterfinals will be good. That's the one good thing about a weak last 16. Then that means that the quarterfinals will be probably 8 strong teams, which is where it will get going. But of course, we're going to get this new Champions League format next season. God knows how that's going to work.
Exactly, and we thought it'd be fifth in the Prem, but in order for that to happen, now that Newcastle United have gone out, I think either Arsenal or City have to win it or something along them lines. The way that we get the fifth spot secured, so we just make things more difficult for ourselves. But lastly, to kind of round it up, Mark, what game are you most excited for out of the ones that we've seen?
Yeah, I think for me, I quite like the Barcelona Napoli game. I don't think either of the English Arsenal Porto might be interesting, but I'm not too sure that Copenhagen Man City will be. So I would say that Barcelona Napoli should be quite an interesting game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that one for me, or to be fair, I think Arsenal Porto will be quite good. I think Porto could maybe do something. Like we've seen Arsenal struggle against these sort of sides. Like against Sporting Lisbon last year, was it in the Europa League? Like Sporting knocked them out. So sometimes they can have little slip-ups against these sort of teams. And probably Inter Atletico, it could be good, it could be boring. But I think Ricky'd be absolutely loving that game. But yeah, that's what it is. Hopefully we'll be in it next year. We'll be in it next year.